iPhone XR versus OnePlus 7 Pro. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone XR versus OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, this video is coming off the basis of price, $669 to start over here, $749, but Apple's really pushing that. Trade in your old iPhone, get it for $479. I think if you could buy a OnePlus 7 Pro, you could probably buy a XR, so they're in a similar price category right here. But which one is the better device? Now let's not just write off the iPhone XR because, oh, that phone just has weak screen and stuff like that, and the OnePlus 7 Pro is a spec monster. It's a pretty easy choice. Not for everyone, it is. So we're gonna begin by talking about the build quality. We'll start over here on the Apple iPhone XR. Now, what's really nice about the XR is that it retained the aluminum sides that we're used to from older iPhones. So we never really had a huge issue with iPhone build quality so much, but what it brought was the life of the iPhone 5C with a modern design of the iPhone X. So really, Apple kind of nailed it here in terms of personality, price point, and it's been the best-selling iPhone of the bunch. The iPhone XS, XS Max, the XR has been the best seller. I think it's clean because it has a single lens. It just looks nice here on the rear. Got a nice color, product red right here. You can get in multiple different colors. Gives it some personality. The notch I don't really like too much on this phone at all. I don't like the notches on pretty much any of them, but I've learned to live with them. You do get used to it. It doesn't really distract too much once you've used the phone a little bit. The bezels are a little bit thicker than other iPhones here. So overall, I would say the iPhone XR has good design. I don't think it's the best, but it's pretty good design with a nice touch of personality. Now over here for the OnePlus 7 Pro, I mean, look at that display. Just absolutely gorgeous right here on the display. Covers the whole front panel, curved edges, so it's got more of a premium feel to it because of the curved edges. With the curved edges, it gives it more of a premium feel than past OnePlus devices. Now, the side is aluminum just like the XR, but it's polished, so it kind of feels and looks a little bit more like the XS Max with its polished here for this OnePlus 7 Pro. The Nebula Blue is just a gorgeous color here as well. I love this matte finish here. Doesn't show fingerprints, but still gives you that shine of a reflective phone. So very nice here with the OnePlus 7 Pro. I like how the triple camera is smack in the middle and it does go vertical instead of horizontal. It gives it a touch that distinguishes it from the Galaxy S10, but at the same time, this phone overall just really is a premium feeling OnePlus device. Overall, in terms of the build, I would have to say that they're about the same, even though, you know, one's curved. It's just more like, which one do you like in terms of the looks? That's really what it comes down to, I would say, if you're choosing between these two. Okay, so let's talk about the displays. And it's not as simple as, oh, the OnePlus 7 Pro, this is an easy win. It kind of is from a technological standpoint, but keep in mind people's preferences when you talk about these displays. I will say personally, in my opinion, the OnePlus 7 Pro blows away the iPhone XR, but that's just my opinion. People's preferences may differ from Nick Ackerman's opinion, for example. Let's go to display. You can see screen calibration, vivid, natural, advanced. Now, these are some things that make me think it's superior. The ability to tweak it. Also, 90 Hertz refresh, not sample rate. That just makes it feel smooth when you touch it, so there's no delay in the response of touching it. But this one actually has a super smooth scroll when you're using the device, something we haven't seen on pretty much any other phone besides gaming phones. So this phone feels smoother when scrolling than even the iPhone XR, whereas the XR feels just as smooth as this, or maybe smoother when opening up those applications. Now, when I was talking about preferences, I was talking about curved display. So this has a curved display. Not everybody prefers having a curved display. It causes accidental presses sometimes, and some people just do not like curved panels. What I do like about this, and I think it's very superior to that of an iPhone XR, is no notch, no obtrusions, no cutout. Now with the XR, what you get is, you know, a flat display with a notch up at the top, LCD, so it's pretty easy to read sunlight. It's plenty bright. The contrast is actually quite good for the iPhone XR. However, it's not even close to an OLED screen. The XR can be a preference for people who like LCD and flat displays, and they read outside a lot. Like, they're outside a lot because the LCD is very bright. But if you're into media, if you're indoors more, or even if you just like more of a screen that's super large and just gives you, you know, almost a tablet feel in your hand, this is a huge phone right here. the OnePlus 7 Pro will definitely please. For me, when it comes to display, pick based on your preferences, not just based on, sharper resolution on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Pick, do you like flat display? Get the 10R. You like curved display? Get the OnePlus 7 Pro. You like higher res? Get the 7 Pro. You like vibrant colors? Get the 7 Pro. You don't like OLED screen that hurts your eyes? Get the 10R. That's kind of how I would choose between these two. Okay, so here's a video example on why I say it's so much better in media. So you can see right here, take a look at the 7 Pro. No obtrusions. When you're watching this Nick Ackerman video, you can kind of see the full video, fully immersive. Now up here, I can even see more bezels around the 10R's display and this obtrusion right here. Now this also affects gameplay. So when you're playing games, this will cut into the games sometimes if the app is not properly optimized for the 10R. Okay, so we're reading about the 10R here on Wikipedia, and here's another way where the notch gets in the way. The reader mode, which is excellent on the 10R in Safari mode, it kind of gets into the content up there. Now take a look up here. You're gonna see how it gets into the content. Now, if you're the type of person who likes to read, from up here and come down as you're reading, that's really gonna distract you. So you kind of gotta put your eyes towards the middle display or read from the bottom of the 10R, because you can just see how it gets in the way up there. And that stuff is just distracting when using the phone. Now over here on the OnePlus 7 Pro, because there's no obtrusion, that's just not gonna happen for this device. So talking about software, we have Oxygen OS over here, which is basically stock Android with OnePlus's customizations over the top, giving you more personalization. It's a pretty simple software and it doesn't really, offer too much complexity. I think most people will be very happy with this software. It's pretty easy to use and it's not too complex. Now, iOS has been basically the gold standard of simple software to use on a phone for a very long time, and it's very simple here to use still in 2019. Yes, the gestures is a little confusing to some people who haven't used them before, and the OnePlus can give you gestures, home button, so that could get a little bit confusing if you're not very tech savvy. But at the same time, both of them are very simple to use. They both get updates for quite some time, but the 10R has the advantage in getting updates longer. It will be supported, I feel like, longer with updates, but the 7 Pro will be supported for quite some time as well. It comes down to a similar conclusion as before. For longer software support, I would get the iPhone 10R, and I think better apps. I still like, the applications a little bit better for iPhone. I'd get the 10R. However, they're not really that much different in simplicity. If you want the more customizable phone to make it your own, and you want updates longer than some other Android manufacturers, I picked the OnePlus 7 Pro. You'll be very happy. I wouldn't choose either of these in terms of one's gonna have a horrible performance. They're both great. But I think if you want the fastest Android phone you could get, the OnePlus 7 Pro will work very well. The iPhone 10R feels as fast as a $1,000 iPhone, so you're not going to be disappointed with either. I wouldn't pick either, even though it seems so much more powerful. They're both very powerful and both handle everything day to day with ease. All right, guys, so I did a lot of thinking about the cameras on both of these devices. We have a single camera here. We have a triple camera on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and I came to a pretty good conclusion here. Now, the iPhone 10R is a simple camera to use. You pull it out, you have one lens on there, take your photo. It comes out pretty good all the time. It has smart HDR. I mean, the detail is there for the 10R. Now, the OnePlus 7 Pro is more fun to use because it has 3 lenses. It also has a wider angle on the camera right here. You can see right there, boom, we're gonna take that photo. Also, you can go all the way in at 3x here, and you could go super wide over here. So for taking photography on the OnePlus 7 Pro, you also have Pro modes, which are actually quite good and simple to use here. In addition to that, you can go here and change the aspect ratio right from the top portion of the phone. So I just think using this for photography was just funner to use than the iPhone 10R, and the snaps on the OnePlus 7 Pro are much better than they've ever been on any OnePlus device before. It's not like you're getting a huge advantage buying the iPhone 10R for photo quality. However, I think for the video quality, the 10R was just more consistent when taking video. It was smooth. You can just see it in this video how smooth it is. It just looks really good when taking video. I found the OnePlus 7 Pro to have pretty good video quality as well, but it was a little bit darker and sometimes too contrasty for me, and the shake was pretty aggressive on 4K 60. Overall, I did like the video quality better for the 10R. I like the photo, just taking photos on the OnePlus 7 Pro better. I would say get the 10R if you do a lot of videos. I would say get the OnePlus 7 Pro if you really like doing photography a lot. I also should note that the OnePlus 7 Pro with its pop-up camera is a higher resolution, so it showed more details, but the skin tones and the color on the iPhone 10R was very pleasing. I think a lot of people will just like the way the selfies look from the 10R. So for selfie camera, I'd say if you like more detail, get the 7 Pro. If you kind of like a better color balance, then I would say get the iPhone 10R. It has pretty nice colors on those selfie photos. Okay, so let's discuss battery between these two, and we're gonna make this quick because there's a clear winner. It's the 10R. The 10R just lasted much longer in usage than the OnePlus 7 Pro. I think it's because it's running like a lower resolution screen and the iOS is very optimized. The OnePlus 7 Pro is gonna get you through a day, but you're gonna be pretty low at the end of the night. Warp charging is incredibly fast, so you probably won't care whatsoever. But at the same time, the 10R finishes the day in the 60s, sometimes in the 70s if you're careful, so the 10R can stretch into 2. The OnePlus 7 Pro never got me into 2, so I would say in actual usage the 10R all day. Also, standby time was better on the 10R as well, whereas this would drain about 3 to 5% overnight. The 10R would drain about 1 to 2. So 10R all around for me, better battery experience, better charging experience for the OnePlus 7 Pro and speed, but you have that luxurious wireless charging for the iPhone 10R, so keep that in mind. And before we wrap it up, I should mention a couple of things. The iPhone 10R and the OnePlus 7 Pro do have dual speakers, so now, in addition, this phone also feels relatively, if I cover that up, side to side, you can see, cover up at the bottom. Very nice and loud there for the 10R. On the 7 Pro, we also have stereo speakers. Especially that OnePlus 7 Pro, if you have ever tried it for 18 by 9. You can see though, I still really like the internals on the. Now on the 7 Pro, you also do have dual speakers. iPhone 8 Plus. So the iPhone 8 Plus being, familiar design makes it somewhat. However, I will say that the bottom speaker is much louder than the top one. Watch this. You see how much louder the bottom one is on the 7 Pro. Neither of them do have headphone jack, so that's kind of disappointing for headphone jack lovers. Both of them do have Bluetooth 5.0, so connections are very quick. I wouldn't choose either of these just on the basis of audio. They will both please you. But one area we didn't talk about much that I would definitely strongly consider the OnePlus 7 Pro is storage. 256 gigabytes for the same price as a 64 gigabyte iPhone 10R. That is insane. And it's UFS 3.0, so it's very fast. The storage in the iPhone 10R is very fast as well, but it's only 64. So we have, incredibly more storage here. And even the base model is 128, twice as much as the 10R at a cheaper price. Okay, so in conclusion, which is the better phone for the money? And for me, that is going to be the OnePlus 7 Pro. And the reason that is because this phone offers one of the best Android experiences ever. And that's because not only does it give you no obtrusion with no notch, no cutout, it gives you a super silky smooth 90 Hertz display. It gives you tons of storage for the money. It also has a premium design, a fun triple camera on here, all at the price of the 10R. And while the 10R is a great phone, I just feel like they didn't go all out on the 10R to give you the most they could for the money. I feel like the 10R feels more like a $549 to $649 phone, whereas I feel like with the OnePlus 7 Pro, they're trying to give you all they can give you. It almost feels like a $1,000 phone in this price point. So for me, I would pick the OnePlus 7 Pro here. But if you love Apple, then of course, you're not gonna pick the 7 Pro if you love Apple. With iOS 13 coming, the 10R is a great choice. So don't think I don't like the 10R. I love the 10R. I just think that for the money, the OnePlus 7 Pro is a little bit better value. Anyway, that's my final thoughts on these two. Let me know your thoughts down below. Which one would you pick? Which one did you pick? And thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you all in the next episode. Peace.